everyone, this is Jira from Plant Corner, and today I want to talk about propagation. Propagation is a way for you to get more plants out of your own current collection. I have a lot of plants in front of me today, and I'm going to show you how to propagate them because they all propagate differently. So let's get into it. So one way to propagate a plant is to take their cuttings. For philodendron, pothos, monstera, you could take the cutting from the plants pretty easily because they have arrow roots. So to take the cutting, I want to make sure that my shears are sharp and also clean. So I usually just wipe them off with alcohol wipes and then grab the plant that you want to propagate. Let's say I want to propagate maybe this stem. You can see the arrow roots here, arrow roots here. So I'm going to cut right below the node. The node is where the new leaf is coming out, and sometimes it has arrow roots on the node. So I would cut here and then cut here because this part might rot in water if we leave too long of a stem. And then when I get the cutting, I would remove the bottom leaf. And one thing that most people forget to do is to let the cut dry first before you put it in water. You want to make sure that the cut gets to dry out slightly. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes before they dry before sticking this whole part in water. Because if you don't do that, it's very easy for harmful bacteria to get in and rot your plant. So make sure that you let the cut dry a little bit before you stick it in water. So after you cut your plant and stick it in water, within 1 to 2 weeks, you should see the new roots coming out of the plant. A few things to be mindful of. First, you don't want to put your cutting where it gets direct sunlight because now the plant doesn't have the roots to absorb water, and so they cannot utilize the light and it could get burned. And secondly, you don't want to have too many leaves on the plant. Like you don't want to put a whole cutting that is super long because now there's no way for the plant to support those leaves, and the leaves will start to drop and the plant will start to die. So make sure you only have, I would say, 4 leaves maximum on the plant when you take a cutting. For this Hoya, same thing, I would look for like a gap like this. Each of these are nodes that can be rooted. So I would just cut right here and then wait until the cut to dry before I either stick it in perlite, water, or fluorostratum. This is a coleus plant, and you see this a lot outdoor. And after sticking it in water for about a month, it grows a lot of roots. So we put it in a spot where it doesn't get direct sunlight so that they can focus on growing more roots first. So if I were to propagate this monstera, I would cut below the node. This would be my first plant. Remove the bottom leaves and do the same thing. Now, if I cut down to here, I could still keep the bottom of the plant and they will start putting out new growth. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a tiny little growth point over here. So if I cut the whole thing down to this spot, the plant can still grow from this little growth point. So for this anthurium, if I were to propagate this plant, I would probably air layer first. So I would put moist sphagnum moss and wrap it up with plastic first so that these roots can grow into the moss. Once these roots grow into the moss, then I would probably cut below the node. Again, you can see the bottom leaf right here that I removed the leaves because it didn't look pretty. I would cut below that. Boop, that would be 1 plant. I would cut right here below this leaf. That would be 2 plants. And then I would keep the bottom cut, and that would be the 3rd plant. For crawling philodendrons and climbing philodendrons, same thing. The bottom of the leaf, this is where the node is. You can cut below each node in order to propagate them because all of these nodes can have new leaves coming out. This one already have this growth point right here. If I make the cut right here, this is where the new leaves is going to come out of. Since it's still in the pot and all of these nodes are rooted, I would probably cut them and just let them dry out in the pot like that before I take them out and then pot them in different pots. Now, some plants you could split the baby out of the main mother plant, parent plant. Like this Pilea peperomoides, you could look around. Usually like there's a baby plant would be on the bottom of the plant, like this guy. So I can actually gently pull it out of the pot. And then I could stick this part into soil and just keep the soil moist for the first 2 weeks so that it can start rooting into the soil. So for alocasias, if you have really tall alocasia, then you can do stem propagation. But if they're still small and compact, then I would suggest trying to search for the corms. So corms are like their seeds. So for example, this alocasia, you could take them out. As you can see, there are already a lot of babies that we can separate and grow them into a new plant. This one. So this is one plant. Another one right here. You can see this is the plant that grew from corm. Sometimes if you notice that your alocasia is not perking up, you might want to check the soil to make sure that there's not too many corms in there, because that's taking away the nutrient from the main plants. What if this one doesn't have corm? Oh, there you go. That's the corm. So for the corm like this, the pointy part is the part where the new plant is going to come out of. So you could stick the bottom part like this in water or in moist sphagnum moss and keep it warm and humid until they start putting out new babies. Found another corm. This one has roots on it already, so you can just stick that into the soil, give it plenty of light, and it should put out a new growth. And because this alocasia frydek is actually pretty big, I could actually do a stem cutting if I want to. So I could actually cut right here below this root. So here's the growth point that can grow into more plants. So for this plant, I'm going to try to cut right here. Finger crossed it works. Whoop! I see a growth point right here. And this top part, usually I would air layer so there's more roots, but we'll wait until the cut is dry and then pot it up. So basically you can propagate almost anything, including the snake plants. So snake plants, you could split the baby if you notice new growth coming up, or you can take a leaf cutting, and even though it takes forever, but eventually they will grow a new pup from there. Again, remember, if you're taking a cutting, don't forget to let the cut of the plant dry before you put it in water, otherwise the cutting could rot. So that's it for our propagation today. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our other videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!